Hello, I'm Crickets and welcome back to I Have a Story. Today for My Life Monday I'm going to talk about how when we were children, I had a babysitter who locked us in a dungeon. Now again, I was in elementary school, give or take, 10 years old. My brother and sister are younger than me. I tried pulling up the house and going down the street and see if I could remember the house and find the house. But of course, once again, Google Maps and all of I don't understand. Was this an Epstein house? Is that why it's blurred out? No matter which direction I go and try to see that house and other houses on the street, it's blurred out and I can't see that house no matter what direction I go. So, well, I gave up like usual. Had it with these electronics. But when we were kids, my parents, if it wasn't for our grandparents, we wouldn't have had anything when we were kids. My parents wouldn't spend any money on us. We weren't worth their investment. How could they spend money on us when my dad's drinking a case of beer a day, a bottle of freaking booze, smoking 4 packs of cigarettes? I remember at one point in time, arguments about how my dad had over 20 cars, Harleys, boats, all at the same time. Money to spend on himself, but damn us kids. Well, then again, that's the same man who used to sit there and tell us right to our face as children that young that if it wasn't for you kids, I wouldn't have to be with your mom. Thanks, Dad. Love you too. Entirely why I wanted to be 100% different as a parent and why I have the views I do as wanting so bad to be a parent and not watch my children have to suffer the same damn abuse. So my parents found the cheapest babysitters they could possibly find because we weren't worth paying for. This babysitter was one of them, and this babysitter kept us locked in her dungeon of a basement. Literally, the door was locked. We were not allowed out of the basement unless we had to use the bathroom. Most West Toledo houses, her name was Judy, and she lived on Parakeet Street in Toledo, Ohio, behind the old Longfellow School. School's no longer there. So what all took place there? Well, I tell you, she had a niece that was my brother's age, maybe a little younger than my brother even. And she would stay at Aunt Judy's house quite often, a lot. Was her niece locked in a basement? No, she wasn't. She'd come down and play with us every once in a while and then go back up to Auntie, who would also take and leave us locked with a locked door and lock us in a basement and then leave and go out to lunch dates with her girlfriends and take her niece to the YMCA. I got to go on one of those trips, and she left my brother and sister, who were younger than me, locked in the basement while she took me to the YMCA and nobody in the house, period. You had to use the bathroom, you better hold it and not make a mess. She better not come home to a mess in her dungeon of a basement. Now, most West Toledo homes, the basement, the stairwell comes up into the kitchen. That's typical of West Toledo. When we had to use the bathroom, she let us come up. We had to wash our hands in the kitchen, not touch a single thing. Now I know about OCD. Didn't know about it then. Her house was immaculate except for the basement. It was a dirty dungeon basement. Wash your hands before you go to the bathroom, and she'd sit there and watch you go to the bathroom and then tell you to get back in the basement and not wash your hands again after you went to the bathroom. As kids, we didn't know any better. So she would leave us locked in the basement and go out during the day and do her thing. My parents knew about all of this, especially when this incident took place. Not only was a dirty dungeon, absolute dirty dungeon of a basement. We were forced as kids for nap time. Here's a blanket, lay down on the concrete floor and take a nap. You wonder why I'm so tough and strong? This is all part of what has built me to be the man I am today. I never want my kids to go through that. Nobody should ever have to go through that. So she was gone one day. We're locked in the basement. No way out. Doesn't matter if the house burnt down. We'd just been found in the rubble in the bottom of it. My parents knew this, and they still didn't care. Screw it. She's the cheapest person we can find. That's what you kids get. But what else was in that basement? Her husband's tools. Nails, screws, hammers, saws, utility knives. And there was no door, that was all in the back room. There was nothing stopping us from going in there. There was no door. It was just a wide open doorway with no door even attached to it. And we could just go in there and play with tools. So one day when she was gone, I went in there and found hammers and nails, and we're going to build something. So what I built? I built a fort and took our blankets. Underneath the staircase as it goes up is just an open dwelling underneath the staircase. So I took and nailed our blankets up to the stairwell and made a fort. And what do we do as bored kids locked in a basement for 9-10 hours a day? Locked in a basement with nothing to do. One day I'm sitting at the very top step. There was a droop in the blankets that I hung. So I popped my head through, and my brother and sister are running around in the basement, and I'm throwing toys at them, and Lego blocks is what we didn't have much of nothing. Lego blocks and books to color in, and we didn't have much of nothing to even keep us entertained. So I'm up there throwing our Lego blocks at my brother and sister who were running around in circles in the basement, and it was a game we were playing. Well, I fell off through that loop and hit my head on the concrete floor, and I was unconscious. My brother and sister thought I was dead. They dragged me. God, my little brother and sister, like I said, we were in elementary school. I was give or take 10 years old at the time, and they were younger than me. Dragged me underneath the stairs, covered me up with a blanket, and thought I was dead, and was sitting there crying when she came home. Do you think anybody took me to the hospital? Well, no, that might have let the cat out of the bag that we're locking children in a basement. No, here's ice. Get back down there, lay down on the freaking concrete floor on your blanket, and put a lump of ice on your head. You think after an incident like that, my parents would have said, hey, maybe we ought to look for a different route. They didn't care. It was the cheapest that they had to pay. My sister and brother had to watch my head bust open and bleed, and drag me under the steps and think I was dead. And then not even be able to take me to a hospital because, what? I could only assume, as an adult now, looking back, they didn't want to get caught. Like I said, the house would have burnt down. We had no way out. We would have just been buried in the rubble of it. And part of why my brother turned completely evil from all of this throughout our lives. I tried to do what's the most positive thing you can make of it. How do you become the best human being you could be out of it? To stand up and fight against it. To want to know why I'm fighting against the system? I don't give a damn anymore. Because they have damned my life to the point I just hate waking up every day. Every day I sit here and chain smoke cigarettes just wanting to die. And the only thing that put the past abuse behind me and I could close that door was to have my kids and raise them better than that. But instead they're forced into the abuse. Oh my God. I don't even want to compare abuse to say they have it worse than I do. Jesus Christ. But they do. Because they don't even have me. And they are told that I'm an evil person. When all the abuse, go back through My Life Monday, go through Series 1, I Need Help. I aired How many years worth of recordings do I need to air before people actually understand and believe it and understand what's it take? What's it take to get help in these situations? None of our systems give a shit. Now I gotta watch my kids be abused and feel that pain and suffering inside so bad. I'm just ready for it all to end.